how do companies make privacy by design or privacy by default actionable? Because some of the challenges companies find is it seems like a concept which cannot be abstracted or which cannot be made actionable. And then they perceive that this is more of a technology side of thing while it's a business process, product, everything all. So what would you describe in terms of making it actionable?
It is eminently actionable, and it relates to the first time you collect personal information from your customers. So let's take one case. You're collecting information from John Doe, and it's for a particular purpose that John has consented to. You have that data, you use it for the intended purpose, all good. Theoretically, that should be the end of the story, unless you have additional consent to use that information for other purposes. You shouldn't be. The reality is, once information is in a company, often it is used within the company and it goes to different departments, different purposes. So the first thing I tell companies is, do you have a data map? Nobody has a data. And I say, that's what you need to form, a data map, so you can navigate all of the different places. You can track where personal information collected for one purpose, if it's going to additional departments and uses for secondary uses that were never intended. So once you have a data map, you can navigate the flow of the information, and you can determine if you need additional consent for secondary usage. It's eminently doable, privacy by design. It all relates to the collection and use of personal information in a way that is transparent and has been consented to by data subjects.
Interesting. So that's for companies who are starting new systems, new products, new processes. But there are a lot of companies who have systems which are, we call legacy systems. So systems coming from 70s and 80s or even 90s, and they have grown over time. They were not meant to be, meant for deletion, meant for these the new things we expect in the privacy laws. So how would you recommend or advise them to tackle privacy by design or privacy by default?
And it's more challenging, there's no question. But I always say to them, pick one or two areas that are extremely important to your business interests and to your customers. And start with even one area and take a look at your information practices relating to the collection and use of personal information from your customers. Have you obtained their positive consent when you obtain the information? And probably you have for the first use of the information. But then you need to see what additional uses of that information are being made within your organization in ways that had never been consented to. And even if you can just in that one area try to either restrict the use of the information to the primary purpose or go back to the customers and say, we would appreciate using your information for these additional purposes. We believe they would benefit you in this way. May we obtain your additional consent? So you can start small, but over time, legacy systems have to morph anyway into current day practices. So you might as well start by trying to gain a consented model from your customers, and they will appreciate that enormously.
So manage it in layers, take it step by step, identify use cases, and use case by case, manage privacy by design rather than trying to tackle the full legacy landscape.
Beautifully put, Puneet. That's perfect.
Thank you so much.
If you like this, find the full episode of Fit for Privacy podcast on iTunes or Spotify.